Okay,
All right.
back to you, Jim.
As I said, don't forget to try to use a word of the day, tantalize, and I'll be more careful. Remember the theme today was presents. You know, it's better to give than to receive. Darlene, Lee, and Troy. And you can always tantalize me by giving me some surprise present, but don't give me anything I can't use. And I hope I don't sound greedy, but I want to tantalize you in thinking about presents you might give to someone else. This morning, it is my great pleasure to introduce one of the newest Toastmasters in our club, Pendleton Club 154. He's been a member for less than a month, and he's already stepped up to the plate, and I'm sure he's going to tantalize us with his speech. Troy, I will not start this timer until you actually start telling us, because I'm going to allow you to give a self introduction to your speech to the rest of us Toastmasters. Take it away, Troy. Yay!
Good morning, everybody. So, I get the distinct pleasure of sharing with you guys this morning a little bit about myself. Um, I am the son of Roy and Elaine McGill, which both are passed. Um, After this last year, Dad passed away in August. But I learned a lot of things through him, and I still use them today. And I am a dad of five kids, three girls and two boys. And I just have to say, from a guy's point of view, that girls are easier to raise than boys are. And that's just a little bit about me. And I am residing in Heppner, Oregon. I am a pastor of a church that literally looks like an igloo, but the kids call it a golf ball. Um, and I've been here for about 8 years doing that. My speech this morning is going to teach you how to wire speakers into your truck if you can't afford to go to one of those crazy audio places. So to let's begin. So to wire your own truck, the first thing you need to do is lift the hood and disconnect the battery because we do not want to get shocked. And then the second thing you'll need is to make sure that you have adequate tools. And I brought some things with me this morning to share with you guys. Let's get them right here. So the first one you have old school wire cutters. Sometimes if you don't have the fancy tools, you got to work with what you got. So you barely squeeze and strip the wires with those. Then you have channel locks to squish your connectors, and I have some of those. I'll show you those in a second. But eventually, over time, you will be able to upgrade, and then you will be able to get what is called wire strippers. And I don't know if you could see on the camera very well, but on the pliers, they tell you the different size wires that it strips and cuts. And you usually don't get these till you get a little bit of, like Jim said, more presence. Then you have wire connectors. And sometimes the older trucks, you will see the wires will either be soldered together or taped. I like to use wing nuts, or I also like to use the full-on kit from Harbor Freight, $6.99. It's got all kinds of connectors and U-clamps and wire clips. So we're going to open it up this morning because normally what you will see when you pull your stereo out to start doing your wires, there's these little blue connectors. The blue ones are the bigger ones, and the red ones are the smaller ones. So depending on what wire you use, Then if you have to do your own Jimmy rigging wire, sometimes underneath your dash, your wires will look like this. They will be color coded. Usually green is right side, yellow is left side, and brown is your ground wire. Then if you don't have those and you're wiring in your speaker, then you have what's called the favorite Radio Shack two-way speaker wire. One side is copper, one side is silver. And then in that case, you will need the U connectors to make the connection. And usually what those look like, they look like this. And it just slides onto the prong of the speaker. And then you use the tools to squish the wire back down in there. To completely wire your truck, you need to allow yourself at least 2.5 hours your first time. I remember the first time I wired mine and I thought I could do it in 15 minutes. I had no problem chopping the wires, but when it came to the point of reconnecting them, like any good son, I had to go ask my dad for help. And he slowly but surely showed me another way to do it a better way next time. Now, your older rigs, they will have a straight, it'll either be a four or a five or a six prong that will connect into the back of the radio. So the newer ones, they come with adapter kits, which cost about 25 bucks. So but that is a brief overview of how to wire your truck. And please feel free to ask me any questions at any time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Troy. Very interesting.